I saw her the way dawn sees the earth, softly, slowly, like something precious rediscovered each day. She stood there under the drifting veil of spring rain, the scent of blossoms clinging to the air like a secret, and I swear time hesitated for her. Her eyes were quiet oceans, calm but deep, and one look was enough to drown every piece of who I was before her. I didn't need to speak. Something passed between us, wordless and alive, electric like breath after silence. My heart forgot its rhythm, learning a new beat, crafted only for her presence. I moved closer, my footsteps careful, reverent, as though I was approaching something sacred. And perhaps I was. Her smile didn't just warm me, it rewrote the meaning of warmth. From the moment our fingers brushed, like a whisper against the wind, I felt the inevitability of it all. It wasn't just attraction, it was gravity, destiny, the quiet power of finding the one soul your own has spent lifetimes searching for. I didn't just meet her, I remembered her. We walked under skies painted with stars, not needing much but each other's breath beside us. The world felt quieter when we were together, not because it was silent, but because it finally made sense. I would catch her laughing and find myself wanting to memorize the sound, the way her head tilted, the spark in her eyes, like joy had finally found its home in her. She told stories with her hands, with her pauses, with the warmth that filled the space between our silences. Every small thing she did made me fall harder. How she sang while cooking, how she touched my face like I was fragile and rare, how she said my name like it was poetry. I learned her like a favorite song, repeating the verses, feeling something new each time. Our love wasn't fire, it was light, constant, life-giving, gentle and infinite. I used to think love was complicated. With her it was the most natural thing in the world, as effortless as the sun rising, as inevitable as breathing. We kissed like time didn't matter, like the hours didn't exist. Beyond the moment her lips touched mine, it wasn't rushed or desperate. It was deep and slow and full of promises we didn't yet have words for. I felt her heart through her mouth, the way it trembled with truth. In that kiss I saw our future, waking up to her every day, dancing in the kitchen, arguing over what to watch on Sunday nights, holding her hand when we're old and tired, but still in love. We didn't need fireworks because we had something better, clarity, certainty. She was my beginning, middle and end. She tasted like forever, and I swallowed every second. The world faded around us, reduced to shadows and noise, and only she remained, bright, beautiful, real. Her touch was an anchor and a flame. We kissed again and again, not to prove anything, but because we couldn't not. The spaces between our breaths became sacred. The curve of her mouth became my home. Every time we touched, it was a love letter neither of us needed to write. There were days we did nothing but be near each other, her head on my chest, my hand in her hair, silence stretching between us like a prayer. We watched the seasons change from our window, from summer's golden blaze to winter's quiet hush, and through every shift, our love stayed the same, strong, unshaken. She found the broken places in me and kissed them whole. I traced her scars like constellations, and told her she was the most beautiful story I'd ever read. When she cried I held her like the world was falling apart, and my arms were the only thing keeping her together. She trusted me with her secrets, some dark, some tender, and I kept them like treasures. She called me her safe place. I called her my miracle. We fought, of course, slammed doors, stubborn silence, but we always came back, always. Love isn't perfect, but it's persistent. With her every flaw was a thread in the tapestry we wove together, and I wouldn't pull a single one loose. She made the ordinary sacred. She made life breathtaking. There was something about the way she dreamed, so vividly, so wildly, that made me believe anything was possible. She'd lie in bed, eyes closed, whispering of places she wanted to go, lives we hadn't yet lived, and every time, I'd picture myself beside her, on mountaintops, under foreign skies, barefoot in strange cities with nothing but love and time. She taught me to hope again, to reach past fear and fall freely into wonder. I used to be so cautious, so contained. Then she came in like a storm of light, unapologetic, and wild, and tore down every wall I'd ever built. She didn't just believe in me, she reminded me how to believe in myself. She'd say things like, "Why not us?" and I'd believe her. We planned futures not with certainty, but with courage, with hands clasped, hearts wide open. I knew wherever life led, I'd go if she was beside me. She wasn't just my love, she was my compass, my fire, the map and the destination. Loving her was the bravest thing I'd ever done, and the truest. The day I asked her to be mine forever, I wasn't nervous, I was overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by love, by the magnitude of what we'd become. I had the ring in my pocket, and the sunrise behind me, but none of that mattered if she didn't say yes. I brought her to the place we first met, where the rain had once kissed her lashes, and my heart had first faltered. I told her all the things I had memorized for weeks, but when I looked into her eyes, I forgot every rehearsed word. So instead I just told her the truth, that she made me more, that I never knew how empty I'd been, until she filled my world, that every version of my future had her smile in it. I knelt, heart pounding like thunder, and asked her to choose me again and again, forever. She cried and then she laughed, and then she said yes, not once, but 3 times, like she wanted the world to hear it. In that moment, I didn't just feel love, I felt eternity. We married in a field full of wild flowers, barefoot and trembling, our vows carried by the wind. I looked at her, and saw every lifetime I would ever want. She looked at me like I was the answer to a question she'd asked the stars. We didn't need a crowd, though we had one. We didn't need a perfect day, though it was. All we needed was each other. Our vows weren't written for beauty, they were written for truth. We promised to fight, to forgive, to hold and to let go, to grow and to grieve, to stay, always, to stay. And when I kissed her that day, I didn't just become a husband, I became hers, completely, endlessly. We danced beneath string lights and fireflies, and every song felt written for us. She whispered that she was scared of change, of time, but I told her we'd face it all hand in hand. I didn't have all the answers, but I had her. And with her I knew we could survive anything. She was my home. She always would be. Years passed, but she never stopped surprising me. One day she came home with paint on her fingers, and a dream in her eyes, saying she wanted to start again, create, build, be bold. I watched her open a little shop on the corner, full of light and color, and everything she loved. She smiled more in those months than I had ever seen, and every time I passed the window, I fell for her all over again. We built a life brick by brick, not always gracefully, but always together. Our home was loud with laughter, soft with kisses, warm with quiet understanding. She left notes in my coat pocket, little poems on napkins, messages only I could decode. I brought her coffee in bed, kissed her shoulder before she woke. We were still learning each other, still choosing each other. And on the hard days, when money was tight, or health felt fragile, we held on tighter. She was my sunrise, and my anchor. She gave everything she had, and asked for nothing, but my heart. She had it, always. Even as we grew older, and our steps slowed, my love for her never did. Her hair silvered like moonlight, and I traced every line on her face, like it was a verse I'd memorized. She still laughed at my terrible jokes, still reached for my hand during storms, still made the same tea every morning, and sang off key in the shower. We'd sit on the porch and watch the world go by, saying little, needing even less. The quiet between us had become its own language. She was still my favorite sight. The way she looked at me hadn't changed. I asked her once if she'd do it all again. She said yes without hesitation, said she'd choose me in every life. We'd lost people, gained others. We'd made mistakes, forgiven each other. Through it all we were constant. Love wasn't fireworks anymore. It was embers, steady, safe, sacred. She was the chapter I never wanted to end. And even as the pages turned and time pressed on, I knew I would read her story forever. The last day came quieter than I expected. She smiled up at me from her pillow, eyes still full of light, and whispered that she loved me, that she was ready, that our love was the best part of her life. I kissed her fingers, every one, and told her she was the best part of mine. Her breath slowed, like a lullaby fading, and then she was gone. But not really. She was still in the way the light came through our window, the way the wind rustled the curtains, the way the kettle whistled every morning. I still spoke to her, told her about my day. I still reached for her in my sleep. She had been my heart, and though it now ached, it still beat with the rhythm she had given it. Our love didn't end, it changed, softened into memory, sharpened into truth. I had loved fully, truly, madly, and been loved just as fiercely in return. That kind of love doesn't vanish. It becomes the very breath of the soul. Forever she was mine, forever I am hers.